from 1997 through to 2012.
2000.
Yeah, so they are the first fully digital native generation.
Okay. You're talking about the age of internet.
Yeah, so
Okay.
pretty much they are talking about true digital natives. They are pragmatic and diverse, and I know that. So 99 through to this
97 or 99?
97
Through to 2012.
through 2012.
Wow.
Oh, and then those that are from 2012 to
Yeah.
2012 to date.
You said something about the digital.
Yeah, generation. They're pretty much a digital workforce, right? So yeah, more or less.
Digital
Yeah.
workforce.
Yeah, more or less. They are the first generation that they are pretty much fully digital, right?
Yeah.
So in their era, probably there are screens, mostly digital stuff.
Because I remember when SHS time, we actually enjoyed Facebook. Like Facebook was top.
Oh yeah.
But eventually Instagram came up, X.
But still,
and
Facebook has
TikTok
the
and all
numbers, man.
But
Oh,
how
yeah.
we used it, because currently it's rare. Some people like, I'm not on Facebook. Like, to me right now, Facebook it's for some particular kind of people. Yes, but when we were in SHS, Facebook was top. Like, everybody wants to be on Facebook. Like, really posting on Facebook. But I think maybe I'll say Gen Z's hardly post on Facebook right now, or let's
Sure.
say the percentage has decreased.
No, I know for. I know that Facebook still has the largest traffic. Let me come in. Yes,
Unless you look at the
Social-
percentages, so
yeah.
because with a few people I know, I don't think they are so active on Facebook nowadays, comparing it to TikTok, X, and even Instagram. But
so-
I remember some time ago it was
again from some
So heavy
Google
on-
states visa. No? Facebook is the social media platform with the highest traffic. So over 3 billion people active users, and then WhatsApp follows suit before Instagram, and then YouTube here and there. But I know YouTube is growing very much. Yeah, but I know Facebook still has traffic. But pretty much, I think I get your point. Most of the young people of late aren't that active on Facebook as we used to be, right?
some time ago.
Yeah, because I remember, myself also probably JHS or something. Facebook was the thing, right? You download your Facebook application. I remember Facebook Lights, Facebook
Then the name used to
Messenger, and then
type our name some queer, then we see the EQ with some H all in there.
Facebook. I think
We
it
had
had
that
its own era.
time then.
Yeah.
So-
But things are changing really, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I sometimes think of how people are adapting.
Oh.
Yeah, because you see, if if the Gen Zs are said to need a fully digital something, the first fully digital stuff, then I'm looking at the alpha, those after Gen Z, that's from the 2013 to 2020.
AI babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then that changes a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Because looking at even those of us that do the computer where we used to do our own search. I remember a few years back learned a little bit of web programming. Man had to use W3 schools, rely heavy on Stack Overflow, some GitHub repos and things like that tools. But and this past couple of years, probably the better part of the last 2-3 years, where GPT and then Claude and all those AI stuff are coming up. Hardly do you go on to set platforms, right? I would rather battle with my AI agents to get some proper results, and then we'll see.
There's a current say that we have a lot of information at our disposal right now.
Okay.
Like Gen Zs have a lot of information, easy access. I term that as easy access to information, but had a conversation we were having the last time where, let's say, you are doing something you're not so curious about, so you're just finding your way out, do you have the zeal or even the time to look at other things so well? I don't know how to put it, but
yeah, guys, I get you. I get you. You see, let me just take it from a slightly different angle. Now, right, with the onset of AI, right, it's more or less getting to add or incorporate that into your way of doing things, right? So your traditional way of doing stuff, the things that, whether being curious or not and all that, the truth is the way of doing that in itself has changed.
Okay,
you get it. So that brings its own challenges, because at first you were saying you were moving at a bit slower pace, because you have to do your own research. People weren't adapting as much manual stuff in there. Now you have AI doing most of this work, right? And then if AI is doing most of this work, then it's up to you as a human to be in charge of all these things.
Yeah.
And then you are someone who is now, you are not curious enough, you don't explore, you don't even know what you're about. Then that changes the whole thing.
Yeah, talking about being in charge, I think that's the main thing here, because having systems to work, I think you, the human being or the individual, should be able to manipulate it or let it work for you in a way. Because with all these recent advances you are talking about, from the internet age, network, digital stuff, through to the introduction of AI, are we doing ourselves so much good, or we are still slacking? Because people do conclude that, oh, we have lots of information, yet young people are relaxed and all that. So what is causing all these hindrances? Because if this is to solve a problem, is it actually solving the problem? So is the problem actually this that's ideally supposed to help, or the human who is supposed to make this thing work?
Yeah, so I feel it's a blend of both, right? A blend of a lot of things. Honestly, you first have to understand that things are changing. So the way through which we absorb information, we assess things, all those things are gradually changing, right? Let me give you a clear scenario. A few years back, those of us that are into school and then academia and all that, if you were writing your project reports and a lot of those things, what you used to do is to kind of read the articles yourselves, type it, and then make progress, right? Yeah. It's not like that any longer. You get me?
Yeah.
Now you can generate your article completely through the help of AI.
Yes.
Although there are tools that are able to feature that, oh, this document was generated, but again, the rate at which the AI is moving, people are now working on tools to help make these things that AI generates more. You get it? So it's very difficult for you to track some of these things. So that in itself tells us that the whole point, like the way of doing things in itself, has changed, right? If, as he said, if the phone coming in was initially a problem, now get to understand that the problem that we are trying to solve with AI in itself is going to come up with a whole new dimension, which if you don't adapt, then becomes a problem. For example, if you don't know your stuff, now if you want to do PPT, right?
Yeah.
If you don't know your stuff and you want to do PPT, you can just go to an AI like Gamma Dots. I think it's Gamma.co or Gamma.com or something, where you generate PowerPoint.
Okay.
I use that tool a lot, right? I don't remember the last time I used PPT, like Microsoft PowerPoint, to do that. Almost all my slides comes from Gamma, right? This thing will generate it. Sometimes I just give it my notes and then it generates a whole PDF, a whole note for me. First thing, do you get me?
Yeah.
Now it comes to a whole duty that I should understand this. I should be able to review whatever it has presented me. Right, I gave it my note and I asked you to do this for me. It has generated, say, 30 slides. Now, I have to ensure each of the information on the slides are accurate. How then do I do that? I should understand how I can use the current tools that are at our disposal to make search and then verify it. If I don't do that, then what I'll end up doing is I'll find myself at a place where I'm still going through the manual trend of having to go and then write stuff. And then the problem with that is I'm not going to be productive enough, right? So the problem with one of the problems that is coming is our inability to adapt rapidly as to how AI is going, right? Some people, let me say some young people, live a bit unconcerned, right? Trying to do things like we used to do them from before. But if we are being honest with ourselves, these tools are getting better. And then the rate at which they are getting better is overwhelming. You get it? And then we do certain things now, right? Some of us are still good traditional way when you are getting certain errors. Some still want to go to Stack Overflow, some GitHub Rep, some traditional tools to do it. But the beauty of the thing is, people that were born probably after 2010, they are not going to do that.
Oh no, that's
there are people, I speak to people now, they don't even know what W3 schools is. Some don't even know what Stack Overflow is. But they are good at building their stuff. I'm like, how are you doing that? This was the real deal back then. Just not like few years ago. That was a real deal. But people are building stuff now without necessarily having a clue what those things.
So you can say those are some of the advantages of the era we find ourselves.
Correct.
But then let's talk about the algorithms. Do you think that the intent of all these things are in favor of us? Because maybe when you are scrolling through TikTok and even you are coming across, let's say, good content or something, you realize that you spend so much time on it. I feel there's no call for action because I'll end up looking at it like just seeing
again.
So can we blame algorithm, or can we talk about algorithm?
Truth is, you can't blame it. No, you can't blame it, right? As long as you are the one in charge. I get what you're trying to say with regards to the algorithm side, especially on social media, where now they are very sensitive to a point that they kind of somehow collect your personal data and then they create the content that you see. So sometimes that's one thing that a lot of people struggle with. They tend to find themselves in a loop where they are watching productive videos, but in their quest of doing that, the overwatching it becomes unproductive. Mainly because of how the structure of the algorithm feeding you with the things you want more, right? But at the end of it all, you are the one in charge. The same way an algorithm has been programmed to cause you to do this, you can come up with a different guardrails. That's what showed you.
Okay.
You get my point.
I guess so.
This is the life we live now. This is the time to find yourself, right? So if this is the time to find yourself, you won't say because the algorithm is feeding me with the things I want to see more, I'm going to fall a victim to it. I'm not going to be productive and I'm going to blame the algorithm.
Most of us are victims already and we are not coming out anytime soon. That's how it looks like.
And then the beauty of the whole situation, I always say the beauty is this. It is even in the early stages yet. These things are going to, like, they are going to come out at us at spaces and in ways that you can never imagine, right?
Yeah.
We are, especially, you see, those that appreciate some of these things very well are people who used to build softwares initially. So there is this conversation, people say that software engineering is dying and all that, which I have my own narration on that. Just I believe that the current crop of software engineering have to adapt and then see how best they can use AI to do that, right? But with this thing they call vibe coding, where people can just sit down and they will write their own English and then it will spit out an application for them. You see it? That changes. I for one will tell someone who is probably doing that, instead of you wasting time, for example, wasting time to learn how to manually type if else blah blah blah, you see, and that's why the guy at the park, you see,
I miss Adepa.
You see, as I was telling him that there are certain things now why you shouldn't spend so much time is that the AI is doing a great job at it.
Yeah.
Now, if you ask an AI agent, Claude, to write a code for you, it will write it, add some doctrines, some comments
on top. Like people, it's doing well. So lots of people.
But again, as I said, we are at its early stages. So imagine next 5 years. You see, there are people coming who don't know the old way of doing some of these things.
Yeah.
You get it. So firstly, you can choose to blame the algorithm. That I will advise you not to. Okay. Because we are still at its early stages. But what you got to do as a person is understand the times in which you live. Right? Understand the times in which you live. Few years back, before we came in here, people were walking miles distance from Takwa to Bugoso. They were walking. But now, you have the room to join a vehicle.
Yeah.
First, you have to even join Trotro. Now you said no, there are both Uber and stuff for your own convenience. So things are coming up. Tech will keep on evolving. Our ways of life is going to keep on changing. Now it's up to you to adapt.
Then we all can testify that AI is moving so wild and fast. And personally, I mostly say that I fear AI because imagine you are doing something and you are not on top of your game. The probability that the AI will take over or somebody without knowledge and advancement would be a master of that thing than you doing the things the old way. So I think this AI thing is a big deal we should look at.
No, honestly, let me tell you this. Don't be scared. Why? Now it provides you with, say, opportunity to do things that you couldn't do initially, right?
Okay, yeah, I agree.
There are two ways to it. For example, in my line of work, I'm a cloud engineer. I used to, or pretty much what I do often is to build infrastructure, right? Cloud infrastructure. When I was learning this thing, I wasn't spending so much time on software applications. I will build my infrastructure behind the scenes. Oh, this is how the system is supposed to work, the APIs, this things behind the scenes. Oh, we are storing it, this, the architecture, we are solution architects and doing all these things. Then I'll go. That was enough. Even in tech interviews or cloud interviews, I would go on the cloud interview and I would not necessarily have to show someone anything. But now, in the era of AI, almost every solution I build, I generate a POC, a working application on top of that.
The tech people are talking POC, okay.
Oh, you see, so it's like, initially, I wanted to build, say, I'm a cloud person, right? I'm a cloud engineer, and then I want to architect a solution like for, say, a school management system where the students would have their stuff stored on a computer, a server, and then I want it to scale, do all that. What I used to do was I set up the infrastructure. If I'm deploying it through code, I will have all the pieces in there, do my architecture diagram. If I come to the interview, I just show you, oh, this is the architecture. If I have to show you some of the service, so I use this service, this is the reason why I did this, blah blah blah. Now that alone doesn't work. If I want to do the same thing, do you know what I do now? I will build my parts and then I'll just open Claude or an AI tool and then I will type in there, oh, I want to build this solution, can you give me a web application, a software, mobile application that I can use? So by the time I come in and I'm showing it to you, you see, the building of the application components is not necessarily my work as a cloud engineer.
No.
In the actual world, places that I work, we have front-end devs, we have back-end, we have QA guys, complete team there, and then we all work together to bring other student stuff out there. But now I'm able to generate the software bit of it and then add it to it.
Okay.
To mine. You see it through the AI. A cloud engineer who doesn't who is not a software engineering person. I'm able to do this. So now, instead of me going to spend years understanding it, there are certain projects that you start. I will build it, my interface, I will do it. I don't even need the front end guys to come in. Then later on send it to, oh Charlie, review this code for me.
Okay.
There are times when I want to build a project. All that I'll do is I will call Prof. Oh, Rex, we want to do this. I want to do this. Oh, what are some of the tools that I can probably use? Oh, Kobe, look at Nest. There is this library. If you can prompt the AI to use that, that will make it simple. Or there is this classes that they will just give me something. By the time I finish, I have an interface to it. Then bam, I make progress. So do you get it?
Yeah.
It's causing me to understand and learn things that I didn't know.
So positive on the good things about AI, like whatever you are saying makes so much meaning, and I agree with you. But then, if you had to look critically to it, do you think there are some disadvantages on the whole AI thing, and also we the humans, the impact it's having on us? We have some negative impacts in there.
Definitely, there will be some negative impact in some of these tech advancement that comes, right? Yeah. And then the rate at which it comes, right?
Yeah.
And then the rate at which we are able to adapt it. So that will make it a challenge, especially with this AI stuff. You see, as I'm speaking, right, you can open Claude and then type it. But there are things like prompting. Oh, right. We all can vibe code, but people can vibe code properly. So the rate at which it's coming, right? Now people are able to just spin up applications and all that. Sorry guys if I'm relying heavily on tech, because I'm into tech. That's why I see most of my scenarios in there. But the case is things that were initially taking people to do, right? Now AI is able to do some, right? For example, just take, say, a piece of paper, do some rough sketches, basadi like that, and upload it to one of the AIs that is able to generate an image. It will just look at what you just drawed and then generate you something. That's the work of a graphic designer. You get it? That's the work of a graphic designer, just going away just like that. But the truth is, it's not replacing the graphic designer entirely. It is just accelerating the work. That's why all those tools that you use for graphic design, they are adding AI to it. So then you ask yourself,
but then are you sure it's not taking the work completely? Because I agree, I believe that if the work of the graphic designer was a 90, right now via AI it's 40, because the last time I needed a flyer in, I just gave the details to one AI and it generated it for me. There was no need to test my make. My make, if you heard from me some time ago, it's because, you know,
AI is that good. I get your point. There are some of the tasks, right? Humans evolve. Get to understand this. You see, those people in the graphic space will tell you this. If someone does a graphic design work with, say, a tool like Canva, and then someone sits down, let's say goes into Canva, imports a Canva template, and someone else sits down and then use Photoshop and then understand its work very well and deliver. You look at both and then you see it.
See the difference.
So you see why this AI bit is a challenge now is that because it's new, people are acting as if that is it. But the truth is, those who are studying their graphic design, or the graphic designers who are adapting and then learning it the right way, learning how AI is going to come up, like come into their work, they are going to be at a position very soon. We all understand that yes, AI generates flyers, but you'll be doing your program and then you want an AI generated flyer. You want an AI generated flyer with an human inside on it. The combination of both is greater than just a human being sitting down to generate a flyer. And that is also better than just an AI tool generating its flyer. The issue with it, like people losing some of these gigs, is that it's a new thing altogether, and then people are rushing to it. You see, there are times where people are laying off their engineers because AI were doing some of the tasks. But I just realized that AI is not even reviewing itself. although we are adding automations to certain AI stuff that are reviewing it, but still there are human elements in there that you have to do it. So firstly, it still boils down to your approach of AI. Yeah. So I think everyone watching, honestly, that's going to be my key thing to you. With tech and then the way things are going, there is very little you can do, right? In fact, you can't control it.
Not at all.
You don't have the means, you don't have the resources, and then you don't live on an isolated island. What you have to do is to adapt. If there is new tech coming up, you have to understand how it works. And the beauty is you have online social media conversation like this to keep yourself abreast, right? I think I'll have to find time to share some of the things AI tool that the community can make use of, and then probably that will be of a great help. I don't know if you have anything to say.
Yeah, so currently I'm having a mindset shift personally, because as I said, I used to be so scared of AI because I thought it was moving so drastically, so wild. But then the goal is not to be scared of it, but then to be positioned in a way where it will be a form of acceleration, basically. So I think young people right now should also be repositioned and make good use of the AI. And also,
not just young people, firstly,
everybody.
If you are working, you are an uncle and aunt and all. There are, just understand that those that were born from 2010, those people, what do they know? They are coming to meet GPT. They are coming to meet Claude. They don't know your traditional stuff, so you have to understand it that way. Yeah. I guess we have to make certain conversations on that. So Charlie, let's probably meet and have another conversation around this. Yeah. If you have questions, if you have more comments inside, Charlie, drop it in the comment section. And then it's really, really nice having you guys around. This is what we do here, right? But yes, Adepa is not around. You guys can think of what he's doing.
We will have Adepa same conversation some other time. Yes, want to hear from him as well. And if you want to join us, you have something to say about this conversation, we're glad to have you. Thank you. See you another time. Subscribe, like, comment, share, comment, and thank you.